Today, we're going to talk about, are you a slave or are you a master? So let's think about this. If I have two pieces of steel, two pieces of metal, one is a magnet, one is not. What is the difference? They both have the same chemical composition. They both have the same electrons and protons. The magnetized piece of steel has a different arrangement of the same electrons and protons as the non-magnetized piece of steel. What does that mean? The rich man, the poor man, the happy man, the sad man. They're all people, but they have different states of mind. Their brains are arranged in a different way, and therefore that will determine the state that they live in. What do I mean? All right, a state. Miami is not London. I can go to Miami. I can get on a plane, and I can leave Miami, and I can go to London. When I go to London, that doesn't mean that Miami doesn't exist anymore. Miami's still there. I've left that state. I've left that place, and I've journeyed to a new place. Similarly, if you change your thinking and change your ideas, your state of mind, you will leave that state and go into a new state. Intriguing, isn't it? Science has proven, and old teachings have also confirmed, that this is the way of not just the mystic. This is the way of the ordinary person. This is how you can conquer things that get in your way of having your desires. So I'm going to tell you exactly how to get your desires in our next tip and tricks. But keep your mind open. And remember, changing your idea will change your state and pull you out of where you are into where you want to be. This is Pilates Master Nikki, and I'll see you in class. We're going to talk about affirmations. And affirmations have power for a lot of people, yes, but there's a way to make affirmations a lot more powerful. So if I'm going to say, I will be successful, I will fall in love, I will be fitter. By saying I will be, you are absolutely confirming that you are not. So you may repeat 1 billion times an affirmation formed in that way, and you're just confirming your lack of. A better way is to say, I am. I am fit. I am successful. I am in love. Even if you do not have a partner and right now at this moment you're not in love, confirming that you are brings that state into the present. If you add the feeling of whatever it is you desire, close your eyes and just say for a second, right now, if I was successful, how would I feel? A feeling of relief, a feeling of pride, a feeling of joy. Think about the things that you would do. Bring that feeling into your moment and try to make it real. Remember, the conscious and the subconscious mind are in your brain, and they're both important, but they're both different. If you can trick your subconscious mind into thinking that it already has happened, it is much easier to attract and draw into your life the things you desire. I am has a lot more power. So if I say right now, I have a rose in my hand and I close my eyes, can you almost smell the rose? Can you touch the rose with your finger and feel the softness of its petals? The smell of a rose, the feel of a rose is not the smell or feel of a dirty sock, is it? Can you bring that sensation so vivid into your mind for a second that you can feel and smell that rose? So that's the way you trick your mind. So feel the success. And I mean, don't float over the scene and see yourself like you're watching a movie. See yourself looking out of your eyes. Like, I see myself doing something that would make me feel successful. I see myself doing something that would say that I'm in love and that I have a good relationship. Maybe it's fiddling with the ring, invisible ring on your finger to confirm that you're married, or fiddling with a beautiful bracelet that you got as a gift, right? Something that brings that event into your mind and makes it alive. So that is an easy way that you can change your state of lack. If you constantly focus on what you don't have, you're strengthening the lack of. If you focus on something and feel that you already have it, and you trick your subconscious mind into thinking it's real, it is easier to attract and bring that event or thing into your life. This is Pilates Master Nikki, and I know I will see you in class. Today, we're going to talk about ideas and how ideas are magnetic. So I want you to think of one thing, just one thing, that was not imagined. One thing. The chair you're sitting on, somebody imagined it, designed it, and it was built. The shirts we're wearing, the buildings, the houses that we're sitting in, the shoes, the cars, everything was once imagined. A garden. If you look at a piece of land and it's not gardened and taken care of and cared for, it's just a wild forest. It's just a wild scene. It was imagined by someone first. So everything that you look at, everything in creation, was once imagined. Can we agree on that? So your imagination is fueled by your desire. If you think of something that you want and you imagine it, that is the first step. So let's say that you imagine and you visualize something like you want to be successful. Instead of making a list of reasons why you're not, that you're not connected, you don't have the financial ability to invest in your idea or in your product, instead of making a list of why not, you need to make a list of why yes, why you want it, why you desire it, so that your desire becomes your fuel for the thing that you are trying to attain. So when I get a book, a fiction book, I always like to go to the end and read the ending. Why? Because during the whole book, all the struggles and all of that stuff makes me jittery. If I know the end of the book, then I can enjoy the story, and I know in the end, it's going to be an ending that is happy, or an ending that I already know. Using this idea, right? You may disagree with it. That's fine. If you desire something, don't fuss and stress about every little detail. If you go to the last page and you can visualize and see it and feel it, just like the pretend rose that's in your hand that you can smell, that you can touch, if you can see the end and then let go, it will help draw that into your life, as opposed to coming up with a list of a million reasons why something shouldn't be, because our senses tell us that it's not real. But if you override that and visualize and go to the end and hold that vision and make it real and feel it for just a few seconds and then let it go, you're going to see that your imagination becomes magnetic. Everything requires imagination. Everything then needs desire. And then whatever you wish will easily come your way. This is Pilates Master Nikki, and I'll see you in class. Today, we're going to talk about the devil. Yeah. You know, there really is no devil with a little pitchfork and horns running around poking people with bad ideas and bad images. The real devil in life, you will find, is our fear and our doubt. When we let that creep in, it wreaks havoc. If you really believe that something is bad for you, if you really fear something, you give that fear, you give that power, you give it life, you give it a place. You create that thing and you give it a sense of reality. The best thing to do when you have a fear of something or a doubt of something is to ignore it. Don't give it any power. Don't give it any life. Instead, focus on its opposite. Focus on the positive thing, on something that's going to be a benefit to you. So instead of worrying about being sick, not being well, having a this, having a that, focus instead on feeling healthy and being healthy. Ignore the idea of non-health or non-functional. The seed of most of our unhappiness comes from this fear or doubt. Anger, that reflex of lack of being good enough, that sadness, that depression, the sickness, the lack of abundance, the lack of love. All of these things seed from our fear and from our doubts. There is no real devil, so let's not create the real devil. I know that doubt does creep in, and so you have to be persistent in your visualization and not focus on the negative and go right away to the positive. Your logical mind is going to tell you no. Focus on the negative, focus on the bad. It's up to you, it's up to me to ignore it and focus only on the things that are going to give you a positive result. This is Pilates Master Nikki, and I'll see you real soon for another layer of Pilates. Today, we're going to talk about something that we've all probably heard about: cause and effect. Cause and effect. We try to teach that to our children. We've been taught that throughout our life. But what is a little bit more powerful, if you want to think about it, it's the law of reversibility. So, we all know that a strong emotion can create a physical effect, like a surprise, right? An impromptu marriage proposal. That strong emotion can make you faint, it can make you cry. So, strong emotions have a definite physical effect. But the reverse of that, the reversibility of that, is that a physical effect, physical thing, can have an emotional effect on you. Someone slaps you in the face. You're going to be surprised. You're going to be angry. You're going to be embarrassed. So a physical effect can give you a strong emotional effect. So they're both correlated and they are reversible. Heat creates mechanical motion. Mechanical motion can create heat. Electricity produces magnetism. And by the same token, magnetism can produce electrical currents. So it goes a little bit further than cause of effect. Energy, matter, they're all transposable and reversible. Faith alone, for you to get a change in your life, is not enough. You have to attach that faith to a feeling. Any feeling that physically you're feeling in your body. You can add a sense of a visual, a sense of smell, a sense of touch. So that force of you visualizing that and feeling it, not just daydreaming about it and seeing yourself in the third person like there's a little camera hovering above you. No, seeing yourself there, looking through your eyes. If you can, yes, daydream it, but get a sensation out of it. It's going to be recorded into your subconscious mind. We're going to talk more about that. And that level of feeling is transferable to help you produce that effect in your life. All forces are transversible. So if we know that adheres to every nature in science, every single law has that transposability to it, then if you have an assumed feeling, that assumed feeling will be drawn vibrationally. It will be put into a sequence of events and you will draw that to you. Faith, you don't see it, but faith is holding on to that which you do not believe, which you do not see. It's not in front of you, that your five senses will not yet let you believe. Because ultimately, it is not what you want that you're going to attract into your life. It is what you believe that you are going to attract into your life. When belief or doubt is in balance, inevitably, whichever one is stronger is going to have the stronger vibration and bring about that into your life. So it's important for you to really understand it chemically, scientifically, that law of transversibility is real. So let's just say, for instance, you've had a bad experience. Like you have a bad experience, your boss, he's always negative, he's always angry at you, or she's always angry at you, and you don't have a good relationship. I'll bet that when you're alone, you're having conversations in your head of you telling them off, of you telling them what you really think about them. That constant thinking is sending that message to that person. Instead, if you turn away from the negative and you start to think of good reinforcement thing, see your boss, see that person give you a compliment, hear it, feel them shake your hand on a job well done. If you stop the internal negative dialogue with your partner, oh, I never get a compliment from my partner. Oh, my partner never buys me surprises. If you have an internal dialogue, oh, he's going to be late again. Oh, he's not going to call. She's not going to text again. If you have an internal dialogue like that, you are creating that in your future. Instead, you can rewrite that and transpose that and use the law of reversibility to your favor. And when you figure it out and you start to practice it on a daily level, you're going to see things turn around for you. Pay attention to your thoughts. What are you thinking when you look at someone? When you think of someone, try to come away from all of that negativity and start to put positivity into your thoughts, because so above, so below. This is Pilates Master Nikki, and I'll see you in class. Today, we're going to talk about the time loop and getting out of the time loop that a lot of us are stuck into. So we know that there's the conscious and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind can process 40 bits of information per second. The subconscious mind can process 40 million bits of information per second. So there's a huge difference. The conscious mind is what is part of our five senses, that you see what's happening around you, and then you assess it and you file it in a certain file, and then it goes into the subconscious mind. For instance, you say, oh, the color pink, I love the color pink. Oh, the color pink, I hate the color pink. You see that color and you file that opinion in reference to that color or an experience. Like, oh, that Pepto-Bismol made me sick, it was pink. So you'll file that experience and that opinion together in the subconscious mind. So your subconscious mind doesn't judge the facts. It just takes the judgments that are preset by the conscious mind and it plays them in a loop. So if your conscious mind decides, for whatever reason, that you are unlovable, then your subconscious mind will accept that. And your subconscious mind will start to vibrate that idea. And then you will manifest that you are unlovable in your life around you. And the same concept goes for you're unlucky, you're not successful, I'm not attractive enough, I'm not good enough, and I'm not healthy enough, I'm not healthy, and so on and so forth. So if you consciously make a decision in your conscious mind, your subconscious mind will record it, store it, and file it. The trick is, and the tricky part is, how do you erase a program that you've already put in the subconscious mind from the conscious mind and get to rewrite it? So you may just say with your mouth or with your head, I'm lovable, I am lovable, I am lovable, and repeat like a mantra, or people try to repeat things to manifest things. But as you say that, your conscious mind is not really believing it. And then you are just reaffirming a negative. The way to undo what has been put into the subconscious mind is to create physical experience, to have senses added into that so that it is more readily filed. So this is the trick. A lot of people use meditation so that they can slow the brain waves down and access that subconscious mind. And yes, that is absolutely one way. But for the average person that is on the run and on the go, it's difficult to quiet your mind because your mind is constantly rattling on. Like you may try to focus on serenity and something will creep into your mind and it'll lead you down a road of a million different things. And then before you know it, you're not meditating and you're not relaxing because there's too much noise in your head. So in trying to fight that and trying to relearn and redo that, it's overwhelming to do at first. An easy technique is to create the memory and attach a sensation to it. So I can sit here right now and dream of myself on the beach. And like I see a movie and I see myself on the beach and the umbrella. That's daydreaming. That's not what I'm talking. I'm talking about I see myself on the beach and I'm looking out of my eyes and I look down and I see my body glistening with the oil. I put my hand, maybe I can feel the oiliness of the sun tanning lotion or sunscreen. I can smell the ocean. I put my foot down and I can try to imagine the sensation of the sand. I can hear the waves. So as I close my eyes and I put myself there, I try to incorporate as many of my 5 senses as I can. Maybe you can just do one. Maybe it's just the sound of my friend or my husband saying, "Oh, it's so nice to be here at the beach," and I can feel them next to me and I can hear the waves. And that's all I have for today. That experience now gets recorded into my subconscious, and my subconscious mind doesn't really know whether I've been there for real or not. So now this vibration is recorded and it's a positive vibration. So you can do that with any state. If you focus on feeling good, and what does it feel like, for instance, to not have pain in your knee? See yourself, feel yourself climbing a set of stairs. Close your eyes and feel one foot going in front of the other. And each time you push up on the step, feel ease, feel security, feel no pain. And so now you're programming yourself to go up that flight of stairs, to use that knee and to not feel pain. And you may say, well, that's just silliness. But the subconscious mind records things. If you constantly expect knee pain every time you bend or you do something, you are setting yourself up for constant knee pain, even if you do the right biomechanical things in Pilates and in your daily routines to strengthen the knee joint so that there's no longer pain, the ghost of pain, just like people that have had losses of fingers or limbs still feel the pain there because they have that pain recorded in their subconscious mind. So by snapping yourself out of that situation and creating a new situation, you snap yourself out of the time loop. And you can use this snapping out of the time loop to come out of undesirable situations or habits that you may have. Like if you constantly crave sugar, see yourself eating a piece of fruit, feel yourself eating it, taste it, and feel yourself satisfied and enjoying it and finding full satisfaction in it. Create that visual for you, and you will find that these new ideas that are planted will snap you into a new time loop and create positive vibrations for a better future. This is Pilates Master Nikki, and I'll see you in class. Today, we're going to talk about the difference between spending and investing. So when you spend, you're sending money out for something temporary. It's almost like you're squandering, you're spending your time, you're spending your money, you're spending your energy, you're spending your emotion. But when you invest, You're investing, you're being more selective, you're choosing, you're investing in something for a future harvest, you're investing for something to gain value and to gain momentum. So if you choose to not spend but to invest, you're going to have a better outcome in every aspect of your life. Your thoughts are constant. If you just stop for a second and listen to what's really going on in your head, you may see a coworker and go, oh, there's Sally. She's always so whiny. She's always so needy. She's always draining my energy. Your constant opinion of that person, of being a certain way, is reaffirming and enhancing and making concrete that behavior in that person. If you want to change the way that people interact with you and you want to change the way that people behave with you, then all you need to do is change the conversation that you're having about that person in your head quietly. Change your opinion, and it's revision. So you can revise things that happen in the moment. You can revise things that have happened in the past. So there's Sally, and the first thing that comes up into your mind is like, So instead of feeling, say, Sally. She's always making such an effort. She's always looking for solutions. And think of her in a positive way. And don't allow yourself to have a negative connotation of someone, even if they drive you crazy. Another example, let's just say your partner, your best friend. And in your mind you say, oh, I know that she's not going to be there. She's always late. Oh, I know he's not going to text me because he never texts me. He's always waiting for me to text him. If you have constant conversations in your head, you're spending your time, you're spending your energy, and you're spending your thoughts, and you're just letting things ramble, and you're not really taking any control of the situation. If people don't treat you the way you want, the only one that is to blame is you, because you need to take control of your thoughts and cast ideas that then will be reflected back to you. Many people don't want to hear it, that the world is your mirror, and the life that you have created around you is a mere reflection of the internal dialogue that you have inside of you. And it's that simple, and yet it's that complicated, because it's not that easy sometimes to change a habit of a certain person that disappoints you or annoys you. But you need to make an effort. So even if the effort is, there comes Sally, freeze. Try not to let that record play. Try to revise it. Let's say the last time you saw Sally, she came over and she borrowed your favorite pen and she took it and she never gave it back to you. And there's Sally, always taking stuff and never bringing it. Okay. So let's go back to the last time Sally came over and let's revise that. It's that simple. It's that simple. Here's Sally. Oh, Nikki, can I borrow your pen? Oh, let me have it. Okay. So here's me giving Sally the pen. Now I'm going to create a memory of her bringing me back that pen. Here comes Sally. And I can feel her saying, gee, Nikki, that pen was awesome. I looked it up online and I ordered 2. And here's your pen. And I got 1 for you. And I see her saying that to me as I'm seated here. I feel it. I feel her putting the pen in my hand. And I go, gee, thank you, Sally. You're always so considerate. And then drop it like a seed. You plant a seed. You don't keep digging it up and checking to see if that seed is sprouted. A seed must fall and a seed must die before it sprouts forward. So as you revise things that have happened to you, maybe it was a horrible experience in your childhood. Maybe it was your stepfather that slapped you or your teacher that yelled at you, that embarrassed you, that made you pee in front of the class. Okay, now I'm talking like trauma. Go back. It may not take once or twice for you to really feel that you're there, but there will be that time where you can relive that and change that experience, and that reliving it becomes real, that for a second you feel it. When you've gotten that, drop it. and let it go. And all of the cobwebs that are attached to that emotional thing that annoyed you or traumatized you will be severed forever. And revision is that simple. Don't ever go to sleep with something that has tormented you that has happened during the day. No matter how big it is, go back. You got a letter. We're going to foreclose. We're going to take everything you have. Go back in your mind. Open that letter. Make that letter say what you want it to say. It's that simple. It sounds crazy, but you are a mirror. If you can really convince your subconscious mind and revise that and then drop it and not worry about it. If you keep worrying about it and you keep stressing about it, then you haven't really created a real vision memory in your subconscious mind. If I'm constantly worrying about a thing, let's say simple, your elbow hurts, and you're constantly waiting for that elbow to hurt and say, okay, I've done the revision. I see myself using my arm and the elbow's not hurting. But then as soon as you go to move the arm, you're like, is it going to hurt? Or am I going to do this? Is it going to hurt? You haven't dropped it. You're digging up that seed. The thing is to plant the idea, to feel it, to see it, and then to drop it. I dare you to try it. This is Pilates Master Nikki, and I'll see you in class. Today, we're going to talk about imagination versus reason. So the reason that you have in your mind that judges things is based upon experiences that you've had in the past of what has been. It's based upon your education, and it's based upon your beliefs. So a lot of times you may desire something, but you may believe a total different thing. Like you may desire, oh, I want to be fit and I want to be strong. You may desire that. But your belief is, I have a weak back, I have injury, I have a weak genetic line. And you really believe that. So when you have a desire and then you have a belief, your belief is always going to win over the desire. The trick is to make your desire your belief. So whatever you are constantly assuming is going to determine the outcome of the things around you. If you assume that you're fortunate and that you're lucky, you're going to see an unfolding of events, of things that come to you effortlessly, that offers are going to present themselves, opportunities are going to come and roll in because you feel you're lucky, because you feel you're educated, because you feel you're connected, because you feel you deserve it. And things roll into you. By the same token, if you feel that you're unfortunate, that you're unlucky, that, oh, I always have to work and struggle for everything, everyone else gets everything easily, I have to do everything, it's so hard, then you are going to bring a series of events that are struggle and effortful and struggleful. Is there such a word as struggleful? Let's create it now, right? So if you let yourself become imaginative and creative, therefore, you're going to sustain that imagination and that creativity will always win over reason. So let's look back in time. Let's look at the Wright brothers, those that developed a flight. Everyone thought they were crazy. Reason said, you cannot fly, we don't have wings, gravity is pulling. Do we not fly around in jets? What about Nikola Tesla, that was the one that discovered the reverse currents that lets you carry electrical current over long distances of time? Because although he did not discover electricity, he was the one that evolved it so that we could use it. Edison was his friend. Nobody believed him, but yet here you are, right, using current that's traveling thousands of miles. What about somebody like Lamborghini? Lamborghini was in, I think, his 40s. And he had a company that manufactured farm vehicles, tractors, and he dreamed of making a race car. Everyone laughed at him. His own family, his wife, everyone was like, you're crazy. He locked himself up in his little workshop, and he dreamed it. He built it. He designed it. He saw it. He visualized it. He was old in those days, 40s, 50s, your career was already established. He dreamed it. He didn't have the money. He didn't have the connections. And yet, do you know Lamborghini as being swanky cars? Have they not won many races? Yes. These dreamers and so many more were told over and over again. People scoffed at them. People laughed at them. They were told impossible. It does not exist. Galileo died believing that Buddha si muove, no? Because the world thought that everything revolved around the earth. He was killed for that belief when he discovered and he proved, he believed, that we were all around the sun. And so dreamers and people with vivid imaginations have made realities out of impossibilities. And it's always the same. Tesla said when he first bought the first reverse current into the shop for Edison to use, Edison goes, we should test it. And Tesla says, I've already done it in my mind. I've worked out every problem. I've seen it work, and I know it will work. And that's how it was. He brought in the prototype, he set it up, and it worked on the first go. And so my goal is to give you the key in your hand that you have and teach you to use it. And that is to dream, to feel and start at the end. Don't worry about all the details on how I'm going to get there. Don't wait for reason to agree with you. Reason will never agree with you when you have a dream of something that you want to do. So you want to be successful. You can be. You don't have to be talented or super smart or connected or rich. You just have to have the desire. You have to be able to feel that success, look at it, and really plant that into your subconscious mind and then drop it. Some seeds take a day. A chicken is 21 days. An elephant takes what? Is it 18 months? A horse? A baby takes 9 months. Each seed has its time to develop, and it will develop. If you really plant it, feel it, believe it, and then let it go, it will come into manifestation, whatever it is, whether it's something for the good of yourself and other people, or whether it's for bad. You can desire and send bad things to people. Electricity doesn't care what it's used for. Electricity will work when you flick on the switch, whether it's to electrocute somebody or to dry your hair. Electricity doesn't care. The compass doesn't care. It will point in the direction that it's going to point in. It doesn't care whether it's good or bad. It just points. And so your desires will also manifest, whether you do it consciously and you decide, or subconsciously. You are constantly planting seeds and harvesting. You may not recognize your harvest because you've planted a seed so long ago and forgotten it. But remember, your mirror is your surroundings. So plant seeds, drop them, let them go, and the harvest will be yours. This is Pilates Master Nikki, and I will see you in class.